Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends. Appreciate all the love. We're gonna do it a little differently today. We have been on the road, in the garage, working our butts off, and we just shipped a car out of here. There's actually nothing today we need to wrench on. And that's good, because I feel like we needed a break.
Yeah, we could definitely use a break.
We needed a little bit of a break between...
Chaotic.
Yeah, between the C10, the Rubber Duck Firebird, the Death Metal Charger. Like, we did nothing but thrash and prep 3 vehicles for 3 events. And we're taking a break today. So what we're gonna do here is answer your questions. You guys have been so cool about watching the channel, commenting all the time. And you ask questions all the time that we just don't get to. And so today, that's all we're doing. So I made a post on our YouTube channel in the community tab and said, what do you want to know? And 250 of you responded. If we answer your question today, we're going to send you some cool stuff. So do me a favor and update your YouTube account settings with your email so that I can find you guys and actually send you some cool stuff, all right?
Yeah, people message me all the time. They're like, we never got our stuff. We never heard from nobody. It's like, you have to update your email on YouTube. That's the only way we can find you.
Yeah, there's very few times when we don't actually come through and get you guys the stuff that you've won. And when we don't, it's because we flat out can't get a hold of you because you don't have your email there. So, all right, you want to start?
Andrew Robertson, can you talk about what exactly is in your current fleet? I know that's easier said than done. Cheers, Mike and David.
All right, Andrew Robinson. We're gonna send you some cool stuff. You wanna go first? What's in your current fleet?
My current fleet is a 1957 Chevrolet hardtop that I'm going to test drive maybe tonight for the first time. Things almost ready to go. I got the little Toyota pickup truck that's still puking oil everywhere.
Really?
I literally haven't touched it. I've just been moving it in and out of the garage since you guys brought it back from Roadkill.
See, that surprises me, not the moving in and out of the garage thing, but the puking oil, because during the Roadkill trip, which I'm pretty sure we set some kind of record for, we burnt like 52 quarts of oil between here and the Freedom Factory without leaking it. Like, it all went out the tailpipe. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And we did try to fix it. Like, we pulled the intake off, changed the intake gaskets. Like, we did everything we could. But within about 7 or 8 miles, it would go through a quart of oil and foul the spark plugs. And we just kept going anyway.
Wow. Yeah, so it's not leaking, but every time you fire it up, it's just smoking.
Okay.
So I'm just like...
Same problem.
Yeah, same problem.
Okay. So one day, I don't know. I feel like we should do something with that.
The 57 150 is just sitting on the rack. I got the mail Jeep just chilling in the trailer and waiting for its turn. Just junk laying around.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the question. Here comes the next one. Dead and Cold. The channel has gotten pretty big. Is there any plans to expand out of the family garage and into a proper shop so you can have a lift and room for more than 2 projects at one time? Watching Dave work on his 57 in his shop put into perspective how limited your current setup is. Yeah, it is limited in here, but I do like it. Like, it's air conditioned. His commute blows. Mine is really convenient, so I feel like they balance themselves out, at least for me. I don't know, I would love to, and we talk about it constantly. In fact, we're always looking for either land or a building. I would love to have a lift. I would love to be in a bigger spot. I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah, you live in a nicer area, so I just live out in the sticks, and this doesn't matter. I'll just buy us in my trailer or just throw a shed up and just keep stacking stuff. So.
Did you just put up a shop? Did you not even tell anybody? You just did it, allegedly?
No, the shop, my big shop, I actually got a permit for. I didn't do anything else.
Nobody watches this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right. Thank you, Dead and Cold. John DeFran. DeFran? When's the next Caddy video coming out? Absolutely love this thing. Soon, actually, because we are ready to work on it again. It's currently on that side of the garage where it's been kind of hiding for a lot of reasons. We're waiting on parts for it, which is a huge reason. And then the other reason was there were 3 cars in front of it that had to get done for specific things. We had to finish the Rubber Duck for a Roadkill episode. We had to finish Death Metal Charger for another Roadkill episode. In fact, it just left. We'll be filming that next week. And we had to get the C10 ready because we wanted to go to LS Fest. We did get it done. We just ended up not being able to go to LS Fest. So now that those 3 out of the way, the Caddy can come over here. We can start working on it, and the new Eliminator 21 Daytona. We actually have parts for that now. We were waiting for a while to get stuff, but we have the Texas Speed long block. We have stainless headers, log manifolds to set up the turbos. We have pieces of the jet drive from Big League Performance, or is it Big League Racing? It's Big League Racing. Trevor Grisenti. We got parts of the jet drive for that, so we can start mocking up the engine and the jet drive in there. And then again, we're gonna get stuck on that thing because we're just waiting on parts, like the whole world is.
I mean, you've mounted the seats, the throttle pedal, the steering wheel. I mean, you've made a little progress on it.
Yeah, the seats are in, steering's in, gas pedal's in. I'm missing the turbos, the entire fuel system, all the wiring, the EFI, the jet drive. And my goal for that, to be honest with all you guys, is Father's Day weekend, I'd like to make another trip out to the Colorado River with my family and go boating. And this boat is gonna be a family boat. It's gonna go stupid fast, but I think I'm gonna put a swim step on it. I think I'm gonna put a ski tow on it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm taking my kids tubing behind this beast, so it'll be cool. So circling back to the Caddy, we'll have a video here soon because now that those other projects are out of the way, we will start working on it. And we've got a lot of decision making to do on that. I think we're gonna look at the floors that got put in and maybe change those because they kind of ate up a lot of room. It's got Bel Air floors welded into the Caddy, and it was pretty cool because it was a quick way to do it, but they go up and it kind of ate up a lot of room.
It's a lot of dead space.
Yeah, and then I'm not like totally thrilled with where the harness bar is and the main hoop, so I don't know. We may look at some of that stuff and kind of go backwards a little bit, but. All right, you wanna do the next one?
Where we at?
Right there.
Josh, I can't even pronounce your last name. You can go for that.
Josh Jablonski.
I think, yeah.
Jablonski?
Sounds right.
All right.
I think a lot of us would like to know more about Dave and where he's come from and what he's done to get to this point.
Who'd you kill to get here?
Gosh, how did we get here? So,
let's give the whole story. What was your first car?
My first car was a 64 Impala two-door. When I was 13, my dad bought it for me. And my dad got it running. It sat for like 10 years, and I drove it around the neighborhood, which was pretty cool.
Did your dad teach you how to work on cars?
Oh yeah, my dad was into street rides. When I was a baby, like we traveled all over the country. And he traded a lot. So he went through a lot of different cars, and he worked on everybody else's cars. So we traveled like all over the country. Every weekend we were at a car show or at a big, the good guys shows and Pigeon Forge. We went everywhere. So
my kids get disappointed with me from time to time when I get rid of a ramp truck or something. Like, when I got rid of Lincoln Hawk, they were like, what the heck? When I got rid of J-Lo, my oldest son was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Because that was the first thing he and I ever road tripped in together. Mm-hmm. We went to Tennessee in it, and he still talks about that. Growing up, when your dad would horse trade these cars, were there any of them that you were just like,
No, I was the opposite. I was totally excited to get a new one. So we'd literally be like, back in the day, we'd be at a car show and he would like look at a car and, start talking to the guy. We would leave in that car.
So he's a talker.
Dude, we would like, and it wouldn't be like I'll call you next week. Well, no, we would literally swap cars at car shows and drive home in a different car.
Dude, that's killer.
It happened probably 30 or 40 times growing up.
How many do you estimate you've had?
Oh, Lord. Probably around 150. Yeah, I was.
And that was before you met me, because you've had a few while I've known you, but not 150.
Yeah, no, dude, I went through S10s and Blazers, and I've had 2 or 3 Dusters. I've had Stravels, and I've had a bunch of Novas. I've had 2 or 3 32 Fords. I've had a 34 Coupe. I've had a 34 truck. I've had an Essex. I've had Edsels. I've had Volkswagen vans. I've had Volkswagens. I've had.
Really? I didn't know.
I've had Volkswagen rails. Like I've had.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've had a ton of stuff.
So you're slowing down then, it seems like.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, family, kids, everything is back in the day when I was just working for gas money and had nothing to do. I'm just out trying to find a new car or trade my car or something. Mm-hmm. So
that's cute. All right, so that's the history of Newbern right there in a nutshell. And for those of you that are wondering how he and I met, was I moved here from California a little over 6 years ago, and right when I got here, I wanted to work on Game Over, and I needed to mount the intercooler. And I made a post on Facebook that like I didn't have a press or dimple dies, and I wanted to bend this sheet metal and make these sheet metal mounts for the intercooler. And Dave responded and was like, "I got that stuff," and or his father-in-law had it. And so I didn't tell my wife, and I left the house to go meet strangers, to go, bend some sheet metal, and they didn't kill me, which was great. And then here we are, 6 years later. I've known Dave that whole time.
Yeah, it was weird. We met in a gas station parking lot, you and Bella.
Really?
It was weird because I was like,
I remember that part.
Yeah, it was weird because you were in the truck, and then Bella was in there. I was like, wow, I get to meet the dog too?
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question. Billy Garrett. When are you guys going to go and help Jack Stan fix his boat? Wow. Well, I gotta be honest, I think he won that deal, so I don't know how much help he needs. Although I've seen a lot of photos of that boat and some video of it, and there is potential in that thing to go faster. But also, I hope he doesn't try to go too much faster in that boat. So I've talked to him a little bit about it, and I've said, dude, if you want to go faster, let me know. There's other boats out there, safer boats, better boats, and I'd love to help you find one that you can really go fast in. And I think he's mildly interested in that. So, and we've also talked about putting up the Renegade with you driving against him driving his boat.
That'd be fun.
Because I think they're about the same speed. I think you'll donkey stomp him because I think our boat is just set up pretty well. Yeah. I think you'll hole shot him. But it'll still be fun to hang out. All right. Next question. Thank you, Billy Garrett. That was awesome. Red Pill Pirate. I know Dave is going to be at Cruising the Coast. Just wondering if you would be at the Biloxi block party on Wednesday of that week. I would love to see that 57 in person, shake his hand, and maybe buy him a wobble pop for putting up with Finnegan for so long. Are you going to the Biloxi block party?
Probably, yeah.
One of these days, I want to go with you.
Dude, there's so much stuff going on. It's 6 different car shows within a span of like 30 miles on the coast.
For the people that don't know, when is this?
It's the first full week of October every year. So this year it's the 3rd through the 10th.
Okay, so that 57 that we just showed last week on the channel that he was building in his garage, which is the same 57 that we found in Big Spring, Texas, in that yard of 57s. He has that running and driving with the heart of the OG Roadkill ramp truck, the 454 in it. And it sounds amazing. It looks awesome. Like, I'm so stoked for you, dude. And one of these days, I want to go to this deal because it looks like the most fun ever, but I'm out of town working.
I know.
Have fun.
Like I said, once you do go, you'll try everything you can to make it happen again. I've been like a dozen times.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing.
All right. You want to do the next one?
Cloud Shepherd says, "Hey Mike, just wondering, is the OG Mike Finnegan from season 1 of Roadkill, short, scruffy beard, going to make a comeback?" Ooh, was he talking about the little patch?
A little ferret I had hanging from my chin. I don't know. I really haven't given any thought.
Your wife would be no.
Yeah.
No.
She never told me until like one day I just woke up and grew a beard, but she never told me that like she really wasn't into the goatee nearly as much as the beard apparently. One or the other has to be there at all times because there's 2 or 3 more chins under there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go goatee anytime soon. I mean, let's be real. It took me like 7 years to change my sunglasses. I finally just did that.
Yeah.
Let's stop this video real quick. And I need to ask you one more time. Can you hit the subscribe button for me? You probably forgot to do it. I know you want to. Right now, please. Thank you. On with the show.
Emoody. Any engine build-offs with any other former magazine YouTubers, specifically say a 318? Probably not. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Uncle Tony, right? And that deal, I don't know all the specifics of that. It sounds like Uncle Tony and Freiberger and Dulcich have something going. I don't know all the specifics of it other than they don't agree. None of them agree on the effects of flipping the pistons around backwards in a stock kind of motor. And a build off, I mean, dude, I'm no expert. I learn every day at this. So I'm definitely not pounding on my chest going, I'm going to build a better motor than Uncle Tony. has no interest for me, and I don't believe it to be true. So nah, it's probably not gonna happen here. If anything, I'm gonna listen to that dude and learn some stuff, just the same way I listen to Freiberger and Dulcich. You know, keep your ears open, your mouth shut. You will learn a lot of stuff. That's what I have learned. All right, Aaron Wright. How about an episode dedicated to Canadian fans and drivers?
Do it.
Sure. It's for you, Canada.
Wow. Gross. It's dripping all over your shirt.
Yay, Canada. All right, there we go.
Ugh, you just look sticky.
Canadian episode done. You read the next one, I'm gonna wipe my face off.
Go wash yourself.
Ah! Did you see that thing?
Yeah, told you.
I didn't see it until right now, and apparently it wants maple syrup.
Yeah, now it's coming for the syrup. Con Clark, tacos. Hell yeah. I'm all about some tacos.
Do I get tacos to chase the syrup with?
Giovanni Ritz, something. There you go.
Giovanni Retiz Kiniston.
Sounds good. What advice would you give to C10 builders or engine builders? Don't build a Hemi.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't shave your door handles on your C10. What else?
C10 building? I mean, the great thing about a C10 is you can build that thing out of a catalog. Although right now that's difficult. Hard to get parts for anything, especially if those parts are produced overseas. Good luck finding anything. So today's advice, what's today's date? September 29th. Today's advice for me regarding building a C10 in the year 2021 is to buy the most complete truck you can. Yep. Because if you have to replace interior items, bezels, bumpers, any of that stuff, it's going to be hard to find it. And I don't know when that's going to get better. I was literally reading a news report today about 65 or 6 container trucks or container ships sitting off the coast of Long Beach, California that aren't coming in and aren't getting unloaded. And that's where your C10 restoration parts are right now. So buy the most complete C10 you can, and then the world is your oyster. I mean, you can do anything you want. You can put any motor in it. There are so many good bolt-on suspension systems out there, engine and drivetrain packages. Dude, like I said, you could build it out of a catalog. As far as engine builders, I don't know if you mean you want to get into the business of engine building or you're trying to find an engine builder. I got to be honest, it is difficult to find a great engine builder. It's easy to find an engine builder, but find a great one who's honest and thorough and has an attention to detail, that is hard. Currently, there's only 2 I trust, and that would be Pete Harrell at Harrell Engine and Dyno and Tom Nelson at Nelson Racing Engines. I don't have anyone else I've worked with recently that I feel comfortable giving my money to. Yeah, I don't have any advice, because it doesn't matter what their shop looks like. It doesn't matter what tools they have. It doesn't matter,
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who used them in the past.
Yeah.
There's a lot of engine builders that are underfunded, overworked, and, that becomes a problem when you show up with your engine and, they don't have the money to buy the parts to make your engine happen, or, they're a one-man shop and they're trying to do everything, machine work, assembly, answering the phone, all that. The same goes for, I've spent a bunch of money with a big name engine builder who has a giant shop with all the best equipment and lots of employees working in there. And, dude, still sucked. The experience still sucked. The other company that I'd still mention, and that I still have a lot of respect for, is Sonny's Racing Engines. Now, Sonny Leonard's no longer with us, but that organization has a really good product and their service is very good. And if they were closer to me, I would bring stuff to them, but I don't live anywhere near them. So those are the 3 I trust. Good luck. Wiz28, why do you choose Jet over V-Drive? It's easy. I like to party. Next one. David Luttrell, how are you going to fix the separation of the rear end of the rubber duck? It looks like it separates a lot. It does.
Yeah, it does.
And here's the story on the rubber duck. We just went and did Rocky Mountain Race Week with it and filmed a Roadkill episode, Dave and I. And we really didn't know how that car was going to perform, and we didn't have a lot of time to work on it. That car has stock front control arms, QA1 adjustable, are there coilovers in the front?
Yeah, it's
coilovers in the front.
yeah.
Single adjustable coilovers in the front, stock control arms, and a drop spindle. And in the, that's my air compressor. We're going to turn that off real quick. All right, so the rubber duck, 67 Pontiac Firebird, first gen, stock front suspension, and QA1 single adjustable coilovers. The rear of it has a Dana 60 that is sitting on a monoleaf and ladder bars. So you have a rear axle with a ladder bar that's trying to do this, and you have a monoleaf that has no slider in the front, like a modern Caltrack setup or something like that. And so that car, when you let off the trans brake, it separates. The whole car goes up. And I have zero experience with that other than what we just gained by going to Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Yeah.
And what we learned during that week was that right out of the box, the shock settings we had on there, which was, I don't know, they were full loose in the front, weren't they?
Yeah, so...
On day one, they were at zero. And then the rear was like 6 clicks tight from zero. And the car had like a 137 60 foot, which isn't impressive. And it ran 972, which I did not think it would do. I had no idea that that car would ever run in the nines because we had a mystery motor in it. And it did. And so during the week, he played with tire pressure, and we were driving on Mickey Thompson ET Drag, the street version on it that has the groove. And it's a bias ply stick that has, it's a bias ply slick with grooves in it. And it's a DOT rated tire that you can drive on the street. And so we drove on those for 1,000 miles. We played with tire pressure anywhere from 10 to 12 PSI. We went down to 8 PSI. And in the end, that car worked with 10 pounds of air in the back tires, like 6 or 8 clicks from full loose. Oh, 4 clicks from full loose in the back. And how many up front?
14.
14 clicks. So we tightened the front up. The back was really loose. And the car was happy going that way. And it ran 904, 906, 908. We ran a bunch of 90 passes, and we were out of fuel pump. We couldn't give the motor enough fuel to go any faster. And meanwhile, when we were rinsing on it here in the garage, we had a set of QA1 coilovers to go in the back of that car. And we just ran out of time. We didn't have time to mount them and get rid of the leaf springs and the ladder bars. And had we done that, the car probably would have 60 foot a lot better. You know, we were leaving at like 4,500 RPM on the trans brake. And we went up and down with that, and the 60 foot never got any better. And had we converted the car to coilovers, which would have given us a lot more adjustment, and just left the ladder bars and got rid of the leaf springs and put a diagonal link in it, we probably could have made the car squat, and it probably would have worked better. But I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm really happy with how it did.
It didn't suck.
No, all we gotta do is put a fuel pump in that car now, so it'll have some fuel to go with the boost, and this thing's going in the 8s. And it's a pretty easy combo anybody can copy, so.
Yeah.
Matt Bradshaw, an update on Blasphemy is always appreciated. We've talked a lot about Blasphemy recently, actually. I'm excited again to drive it. We have an event in mind. Tom Bailey, who you guys know probably from Hot Rod Drag Week, he's got the world's quickest street car, the 6 Seconds 2.0 Camaro. He was here a few months ago and showed off the fire system for the Cadillac, told us how to install it and try not to kill ourselves. He is actually going to put together a drag and drive event that'll happen in Florida, I think in February. And I don't have the exact dates yet because I think he's still trying to nail down the tracks and get contracts signed. But it's kind of a drag week, Rocky Mountain Race Week style event where you race a track and then road trip to another one and do it again. And I think that's enough time to get Blasphemy back together. I've talked to Pete Harrell. The pistons and rods are on the way from CP Carrillo. He has a crankshaft. He has a cam core. The Keith Black Racing engine block is sitting there. I think my heads can be repaired. The blower needs probably cleaned out because it's full of metal.
We're going to do a 1071 anyway, right?
I mean, I need to look at whatever rules he's putting together, but yeah, like I built that car to drag week rules, which limits you to an 871. I've always wanted to try a 10 because we are spinning the snot out of that 871 to run 850s. However, that car usually has like a 126 to about a 132 60 foot. And we have never tried to improve the 60 foot. I'm granny shifting the G-force, to keep it alive. Like there's a lot of places in that combo, just as it was last year, to go faster. However, that engine had a really small camshaft in it. Really small. And we're going to put a real camshaft in it this time. So I'm guessing we're going to have another 50 to 100 horsepower. And we have a roll cage that will only cert to 850. So sticking a 1071 on it, it's almost like, well, I don't know, what's the point, At a private test session, we could go a lot faster, but if we go to any of these sanctioned events, we're up against an 850 cert.
What?
All right, David Luttrell has got another question. He says, need to know more about the golf club incident. I mentioned it here on the channel when you were gone. And I forgot I had, actually. So the whole world knows that you got clocked in the face with a golf club, but you can't even, like...
No, it's almost gone. Like, there's a little scar here,
That's impressive. How
it healed over the race week.
Yeah,
like when I started race week, it was all like bloody and like all swollen up and black eye. By the end of the week, it was gone.
See, race week's good for your health.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. So anyway, tell them the full story, because I didn't give them any facts. I just said your kid clocked you in the face with a golf club.
So my 12-year-old daughter was gonna give me some tips, right? I was like, I'm gonna hit the ball. I was like, what do they teach you? Like, show me how to hit it, because I'm not a golfer. So she stands next to me, right next to me, and she's like, all right, you gotta bend your knees, you gotta hold it like this, And then next thing I know, she swings it, and it just boom, right in the face. And it happened so quick. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground, I'm holding my face, I'm wake up, I was like, I think you broke my skull. I was like, I'm pouring blood everywhere. She's freaking out. So she starts calling her mom, and I ended up, going to the emergency room, and they had to do a scan and all kind of crap. And they tried to do stitches in my eyelid, and they're like, dude, this is going to hurt. And I was like, well, don't do it. So they ended up having to, they taped like my nose and like my eyelid, and it was brutal. And what's crazy is I had a concussion, and I went through race week with a concussion.
I was about to bring that up, because on like the third or fourth day, you're all, man, I finally figured out why I feel so funny. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, I felt weird all week. I'm like, well, dude, you had a concussion. I'm like, when an NFL player gets knocked out on the field, he doesn't get to play for a week or 10 days. It's called protocol. You just came back to work, dude. All right. Well, I'm glad you're not dead. And, I'm glad you don't look like a pirate anymore. And I'm just glad. All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll call it good here. I'd like to hear y'all's opinion on NPK versus NHRA. For those of you guys that don't know, the Street Outlaws TV show has branched out into actual track racing. They have a show called No Prep Kings. Ostensibly, it's about racing those cars from the original TV show and other ones on a track that is not prepped, or a track that's literally been groomed to remove some of the sticky stuff in the rubber off the starting line. And then NHRA, is probably everybody knows, has been, they invented sanctioned drag racing. Wally Park started that. And so, versus, I don't know. I mean, they're both fun. I gotta be honest, I do watch the No Prep King stuff. Pretty much anything with cars I'm into, but I know some of the drivers in No Prep Kings, and so I do go out of my way to watch it, and it's a lot of fun. I know some NHRA drivers, they're great too. I think the difference between those two things is watching No Prep Kings is kind of like watching professional wrestling. You get a little more personality with it. You get a lot more personality with it. Whereas watching NHRA drag racing, when a driver gets out of the car at the top end, there's usually, not a fist fight. And whether I want to or not, I find out, that the only reason they won was because they drank some Mellow Yellow, and, their car didn't fall apart thanks to Snap-on tools. Like, it's a lot of regurgitated sponsor stuff coming out of their faces. And it's not the driver's fault. They have a job to do. They have bills to pay. This is how you do that in NHRA. But you get I don't even know if you get any of that at No Prep Kings, so it's a little refreshing, gotta be honest. All right, last question. Repair Geek, what is the status of the OG Roadkill ramp truck? It is painted but not put back together. It is still at Concept Collision in Ackworth, Georgia, and we're gonna give them a holler next week.
Yeah.
You are, while I'm out of town, and see if we can't
I'm out of town.
Oh yeah, you're okay. You're out of town, I'm out of town. While I'm still out of town, when you get back, give them a holler. Maybe we can pick it up and start putting it together.
There you go.
That's it. There's the update. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps us a lot. And if you're feeling froggy, head on over to fsmgarage.com and get yourself some merch. We have brand new shirt designs that I'm really proud of. And again, all that stuff is the reason we're still here on YouTube and what allows us to make really, really questionable financial decisions involving cars for you guys. See ya.